You want to know how I successfully bought at least 80% of my shoes fully online without having any sizing issues? Stay tuned. Woo-hoo. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to your favorite local running community. I'm Juliana, and today we are talking about the method and the secret weapon that I have for buying shoes online that will let you successfully, I will say, based on my data, at least 80% of the time, get the sizing correct on a shoe. The reason it's 80% is because sometimes the sizing is a little bit funky besides like the length of the shoe. Like sometimes a heel or a toe box will fit really like snug or wide, or they'll just be like a weird way that it fits through kind of like the instep area or the midfoot area here, and sometimes you have to size up and down because of that. So for that reason, if you're not sure about the sizing of your shoes, or you really want to be like dialed in on your sizing for a shoe, definitely see if you can go try on the shoe somewhere first. Even if you plan on buying the shoe used, you can go into running shoe stores, try on shoes, and you don't have to purchase anything. So I understand that that is kind of like a not hot take, but a kind of a hot take to be actually saying out loud, but you can go try on shoes somewhere and not have to purchase them. But my tip, my number one tip for buying shoes, and before we get to that, don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you subscribe so you can be part of our local running community and join us here every week for more fun content like this. So what is my number one tip for buying shoes online? My trick of the trade, the thing that really makes me at least 80% successful in finding shoes that I don't have to worry about returning and that I can wear for either walking or running that just fit my feet properly. That is going to be European shoe sizing. I know anyone who's on this journey with me and has watched or listened to any of the podcast episodes before knows that I am a big fan of European shoe sizing because of the wonderful things he does. And also, European shoe sizing is at least more standardized than US shoe sizing. US shoe sizing is not standardized. It's the same way that jean sizing is for women. It's all over the fucking place. Like there's no rhyme or reason or anything why I am a size 9 in a Hoka, but I'm a 10 in an Ultra, and then in a Brooks I'm a 9.5. Like what is like, there's no rationale. There's no rationale here. And there's no standardized sizing attached to the US shoe size system, but the European shoe sizing has some standardized measurements attached to it, which is great. I will say there are different variations on the European shoe sizing. This is just like the general basic European shoe sizing. So I'm going to teach you guys how to find your European shoe size, and then we'll just like enjoy knowing that. Because then once you know your European shoe sizing and you know approximately how wide your foot is, like if you typically need a wider toe box or you don't, or if you need more of a narrow shoe or you don't. And that's where like shoe reviews are going to come in great, like here or Believe in the Run or like Kofuzi, places like that where they're going to tell you like, oh, this run's kind of wide, or like I usually take a wide and I was fine in this shoe. That's where that's going to come in. This is for the sizing and the length of the shoe. So this is going to be like in US sizing, like 7, 8, 9, 10, all those things. In European sizing, we're going to go from like 35 to like 45, generally speaking. That's like a standardized range. But let's learn how we can find our European shoe sizing. So the things that you are going to need are a piece of paper, a pen, and a ruler. Yes, I do have a folding ruler. It is very fun. It's a lot of fun. So the first thing, and your brain, and possibly a calculator if you're not good at math in your head. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our paper, and then we're going to take our marker, and what you're going to do is you're going to put your foot on the piece of paper. I'm going to do this on the floor in a second, and then you are going to trace your foot, or you can just measure the tip of your toe down to your heel, your choice. And then I'm going to come back to you in a second, and I'm going to show you what to do from there. So trace your foot on the piece of paper, and we'll be back in a second. Okay, so I've successfully traced my foot on this piece of paper right here. Ta-da! Look at, that's the bottom of Juliana's foot. It's quite wide. I usually take a wide shoe or a shoe that runs kind of wide. So Here we go. And what we're going to do now is we're going to use a ruler to measure our foot from the tip of the toe down up here to the bottom of your heel down here. And I want you to measure it in centimeters. So you're not going to measure this in inches. We're going to measure this in centimeters from the tippity top up here to the bottom of the heel down here. Okay, so we have successfully measured my foot at 24.5 centimeters. And now we're going to do some math, friends, because the math equation that we're going to want to follow is we are going to add 1.5 centimeters to this number right here, and then we are going to multiply it by 1.5. So for me, that means that my shoe size, based off of this math equation, is a European size 39. And I will say, I have found that I'm pretty solidly like a 39.5 to a 40, but I do have a wider foot as well too. So that will play into things. Generally speaking, if you have a wider foot, you tend to go towards a little bit of bigger size because your foot volume is just a little bit higher. But this is just measuring the length of your foot and giving you a good estimate. And the more shoes you wear, the better you're going to get a gauge. And also, the more shoes you wear from different brands and different widths and different models, you'll get a better gauge. But honestly, like, this is a pretty good starting point. If I got size, like, I have shoes that are sized like pretty much 39 through 41. Like 40 is like a good place for me to hang out, but 39 is great. So this will help you just like more standardize, find a shoe size that works well for you. And then based off of like other knowledge that you have, like I said, if you have more of a narrow foot, this number should be like pretty accurate and you shouldn't really have to go up or down in sizing for the most part. If you tend to have a little bit of a wider foot, you might be say like a 39.5 or a 40, just based off of like how wide your toe box area is and how long you need the shoe to be because of that. So this is a fantastic way to actually standardize your shoe buying process. So that way when you go into a running shoe store, you can buy shoes from across brands. And then when you're at home, you can also buy shoes online, both new and used, and figure out what the sizing is. If you're buying shoes new, the website that you're buying them off of, say like Reebok, Adidas, Asics, they'll have a shoe sizing chart, which will let you see the European sizing and then the US sizing. So if you need to kind of convert European to US, you can use their chart and it'll say like a size 39 is technically a size 7 in our shoe or whatever it is. That will be on their website. If you are buying a pair of used shoes, what you're going to want to do is make sure that the shoes show you the tag on the inside of the shoe. So that is going to be this sizing tag right in here. So make sure that if you are buying a pair of used shoes, you are able to see the sizing tag in one of the pictures. And if you can't, ask the person who is selling it to send you a picture of that. So that way you can make sure that even though technically on the listing it says like a size 9, on the tag it says that it's actually a size 38.5 instead of a 40, which is what you were looking for. Like I said, every brand is different. The best thing about the European shoe sizing is it is standardized in some capacity. US shoe sizing is not standardized at all. So this is my secret tip to buying shoes online successfully, not regretting your purchase, not having to return shoes, not having to wait for shoes to show up because you had to return shoes. So that way, when you buy your next pair of running shoes, you can be like at least 80% confident that these are the shoes that are going to be the correct size for you, even without having to try them on. Let me know if you have ever used European shoe sizing or you consistently use European shoe sizing to buy your shoes, either in person or online. And again, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that way you can become part of your favorite local running community every week with me here. And I'm so excited to have all of you guys week after week. And thank you to everyone who has already subscribed. Until next time, friends, I will see you on the next episode of Shoe Eating Monster. Nom, 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 nom. Thank you for listening to this episode of Runnah. This podcast is edited, hosted, and produced by me, Juliana Coughlin. Brought to you in part by the Falmouth Running Club and the Falmouth Community TV station. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on Instagram and on TikTok at RunnahPod. And you can send us an email at runnahpod@gmail.com. And our original theme music was brought to you by the one and the only wonderful Jeffrey Hutton. And keep up the great work. I'm proud of you.